Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. We are back over here at the Guardian farm and I've got to say I'm looking forward to working on it this episode. Now I know you're probably thinking we have spent a lot of time over here, but just look at this thing, it's absolutely enormous. It's a giant box in the ocean and there is so much work here still to be done, but we have really made a huge step forward last episode by finishing off the automated part of the farm. So now we've got all of our half slabs down the bottom in place. We've got mine carts underneath them going back and forth, picking up the items and sending them all the way to the top here. So in between episodes I have obviously been in the server AFK a lot. You can see Tango Tech is online, he's been AFK as well. And I have been trying to do some tests. I've been trying to find out where is the best place to stand, because when I stand up here and I look over the edges I rarely see any guardians spawn. In fact we've got one right there. But what I was expecting to see is, you know, one drop down, then another one, but you really don't see a lot. And it feels like when I'm down the bottom working on the farm, the Guardians drop down a lot more. So I have been doing some tests, standing up here for an hour or so, then going down below. But do you know what? The server has been so busy lately, you know, someone logs on, someone logs off, sometimes Tango's on, and sometimes he's not, and I've been unable to do a fair comparison. So I've given up on doing that. I had moved, you know, a bunch of items into these chests, trying to put them into different groups, but then the items started overflowing into them and spoiling my tests. I've even been moving items over here, but it's just been a disaster trying to test it is what I'm saying. So just have a look at how much stuff we've got so far. I'm going to flick through most of these chests. All the ones down the front here have now filled up as well. And you know what, it just occurred to me that what I should have done is perhaps written down the amount of items that I had got from a test rather than put them in the next chest. But anyway, that doesn't matter. We have got tons and tons of items, which is great. This thing is truly working. However, we can still increase the rates further because there is caving to be done in this area. Now, where I'm standing at right now, I haven't exactly calculated how much of the down there area is loaded. And if you look at it, if you think about it, it's not the surface of the water. There's a big drop before the land underneath starts, and that's where the caves will be. And I don't really think we're going to be loading a lot from up here, but one of the things I would like to do is go down there and do some more caving. And I have found a few spots very close to our farm that need lighting up. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing this episode. And the other thing that we're going to start doing is making this place look pretty. And how did that happen? Did an Enderman spawn? That's probably it actually. An Enderman probably spawned, took out a sand block from the bottom, then got splattered by sand and ran away. So that's probably... has that broken the portal? No, the portal's okay. And it's probably not broken anything down there, has it? Okay, enough of those distractions from the Enderman. Let's talk about what we've got to do, because we've still got to do a lot over here. As I said, we want to make this place look nice and pretty. So I want to do all of the walls down here. The big walls around here, I want to make absolutely everything you can see look great. That will include removing the beacon and putting it somewhere else as well. And as well as that, we want to make an XP mode for this as well. That's why we put all of the half slabs in here. And the way that I was originally going to do it was to have the XP farm down the bottom there. But there might actually be a way of us getting the Guardians all the way up there into the sky and having our XP farm at the same place that you would AFK. And that's probably not the most efficient thing to do to bring all the Guardians up to the top, but we'll talk about that when we get round to it, because I might not have time for it this episode. We have a lot of building to do, and it's time for me to start getting to work with this. And we're going to start with this wall over here. I'm going to cover the entire thing with blocks, make it look really pretty, and I guess I should just start building and show you it when I've done a little bit of work. Oh yes, that's right. You know what? This project is absolutely awesome. This is going to look amazing when it's finished. Now I've just put in, there's that classic lag again from the stained glass. I've just put in the beginning bits of this, the frame, so you can kind of see how this is coming together. And it is going to look amazing. Now that circle right there, it's not quite a circle, is it? It's obviously hard to do circles with squares, but I think I actually did that wrong. However, I'm just going to keep it how it is, because I think it looks cool, which is important. And what we're going to have behind that glass is water, of course. We're going to remove all of the sand and then put some of it back again, because what I want to do behind each of these walls is to have the sand there, so when you look at it from the outside, it's just going to have, yeah, sand everywhere. So I think what I'm going to do on the bottom over here and on the top as well is put some half slabs behind. I think I have some in my inventory. What we should be able to do is put the ones at the bottom at half a block's height. So if you imagine we're on the other side of the wall here where the andesite is, we're going to have it there, so that's where the sand stops, and then at the top we do it at the opposite side of the andesite, so it would be on the higher ledge, and then that means we can put sand above this. Now you can also put sand on top of a half slab, you just can't let it fall down, otherwise it breaks. So that way we have some consistency, I guess, to what we're doing here. But this is going to look great. What I've decided to do is to build these walls in front of the sand because it makes life a lot easier, not having to tear down the sand and then rebuild all of this in the water. So that I think was pretty smart. But there we go. So we're going to have water behind that. That's what I'm going to do next. And after we've done all of that, we're then going to fill in the rest of this with a pattern. We're going to have some stripes that come across like this in a diagonal, and then they go across all the way to where they line up with the center here. And then we have the same thing mirrored at the top, so it goes across like that, and then mirrored on the other side as well. And it is just going to look amazing. So I want to crack on. I really want to get this done. So when we come back, you're going to see some serious progress. Oh yes, doesn't that look spectacular? I am so pleased with this. Look at this thing. It is a big ugly box. Even though it does something amazing, it looks pretty awful in here. But now, looking at that wall, it just looks brilliant. I'm really happy with how this turned out. Look at that window. It looks awesome. Now, one of the reasons I think it looks really good is because we've got a couple of squid floating around outside there. But as well as that, we've also got this lovely contrast where you've got the land down at the bottom. And if that was all one colour, then I don't think it'd look as good as with this contrast right here. But that is it. It is absolutely awesome. Building this took some time. I did build it incorrectly a couple of times. And for this, I have used prismarine bricks and prismarine as well. And the prismarine changed colour over time, ever so slightly, so it's slightly animated the wall, and every time you look at it, it's going to be a slightly different shade of green, or it's like an aquatic green, isn't it? I guess you could say. And yeah, so I did make a mistake a couple of times. Like I built the lines, the diagonal ones, in the wrong places, and then when I got to the top, I realised that I built the entire thing incorrectly. This window is supposed to be one block higher, which is a little bit of a problem. However, in trying to find a solution for that problem, I've actually come up with something that I think looks really cool. And it's a kind of little detail that you can't see from down the bottom there, but from up the top you can see it. And it looks cool. Anyway, let's go and have a look. So, over at the edge here you can see the water comes down. Doesn't that look awesome? I love that. So, because I built this one block too low, it means we should have had an extra block at the bottom below the window and one block up here, which would have brought it up to this height right here. So it would have been level with the water. And because I had to go down by 2 blocks, I was a little bit worried that I couldn't do that. And after thinking about it, I realised that we could put down some half slabs and have the water just flow down like this onto the block below. Now when I got to the corner here, I didn't have this block here first of all, so when I placed, or at least removed, the sand blocks here, the whole thing formed water going all the way across, and then it flooded over the front down to the bottom, and it was a real pain. And I really wished I recorded that, because my reaction probably would have been pretty funny. However, you know, when I play Minecraft, I need to like watch or listen to some music or do something else at the same time. Otherwise it's just, I don't know, a little bit dull for me. So that's why I don't record when I'm doing stuff in between. Anyway, there is one other thing that I want to mention before we move on to what we're going to do next, which I have no idea what it is. I think that might actually be tidying up the walls down the bottom here. That's probably what we're going to do. But yes, the other thing, if you guys have been following me on Twitter, I've been tweeting out about giving this place a name. Loads of people have been tweeting me suggestions. I want you guys that don't use Twitter to also comment on this video and let me know if you have any ideas for a name for this farm, because I want to take my time picking a name, and I've had tons of great suggestions already. I've got a few good names in the mix, but I want to give this one a real name that's something special, because this is an amazing project. Look at the scale of it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, if you have any ideas, just leave a comment down below. But for now, what I'm going to do is move on to the walls down here. That's definitely what we're going to do next. That's also going to include putting the what are they called? Dispensers along the side here with repeaters on top, so that we can activate the farm and put it into XP mode as well. So a lot of work to be done, and I should just get on with it. Okay, the dispensers are in place, and I thought for this next bit what we would do is build and talk together. Now I've got a lot of work to do here today in this area, and you know what, I just do it all and then talk in between, and sometimes I like to change it up. So let's come down here and build something together that I think is going to look really good, because I've just finished doing some measurements to make sure this idea that I have is going to fit in this area. So we have some sea lanterns, we have some diorite, prismarine blocks, and some polished andesite, and I want to make the wall that's going to go on this side. We're going to mirror it on that side, and maybe on these two we'll do something a little different, but I got a feeling this is going to look good. We're going to use the diorite with the sea lanterns in the middle, and and I think they're going to work well together. So I just want to make sure that I am like right here in the middle. One way of doing this is just to make sure that you're looking straight on, as close to -90 as I can get. Will pretty much tell me that that's the block that I'm standing on. So down here, so this one and to the left is the middle. Right, so let's turn around, and now it's on our right hand side, and let's place down our first 2 blocks at the bottom. That's going to be andesite, and look, I'm screwing this up already. This is why I do my building off camera, because I am just not very good at doing 2 things at once, that being talking and building. Anyway, we need to make a little way for us to get up here. That is not the way to do it. Neither's that. This is a little bit problematic, isn't it? Okay, right, so the andesite is going to be our trim at both the bottom and the top, and that should leave us with 6 blocks in the middle. So we're going to go 2 of these and 2 again, same over here, and then we're going to put our sea lanterns in the middle. And already this is becoming quite confusing to build. So as well as that, I want to put another 4 blocks on either side again. So we have like a cross with the sea lanterns in the middle. There we go, I think that looks good. So this border is going to extend all the way across to that side, all the way over there, and there's going to be 1 block of it going up, and then all the way back around. And then we're going to have these crosses every so often. So the next one would go here, I think. Yep, there's 2 blocks between. So then up the top we have our andesite, and then more of this, the sea lanterns, these blocks on the bottom. We're just going to do a little bit of this so we get a rough idea, then I'll build the rest. I'm not doing the whole thing in one go. Right, so we've got all of that in place. Let's just pillar up a little bit here, because the next bunch of blocks I want to place will be in the space. So in this gap between each of these crosses, we're going to have loads of prismarine blocks. And I reckon there's a better way of doing this. You know, when you build something like this, it might be a good idea to step back and think of a pattern for building it. In fact, for the rest of this, what I'm going to do is just look at it and then build it going across. I'll explain that in a second. Let's just take a step back. That repeating all the way across on either side, I think is going to look really good, actually. I really like that. That's awesome, and that's just a small segment of it. So, what I was talking about building it, in fact, I'll give you a little bit of a demonstration since we're doing a bit of building and talking here, is I would go across like this, and it's night time, you know, not the best of times to be recording this. Then I'd turn around and I'd put in all of the andesite, like so. So we've just placed a ton of blocks in one go there. And then I would look at what comes next. So it's going to be 6 prismarine blocks in a row, and then 2 diorite, and then we can do that 2 high as well. So then I'd pop back up there, I'd place down 6, then 2, then 6, then 2, leading all the way to the edge. And that's actually the same technique I use for building up there. So yeah, figuring out a good technique for building when you're doing stuff like this is always a good idea. It's going to save you time, make things a lot easier. And have I been picking up those dispensers? That's just another thought. Anything that I break that falls down is going to get picked up by the minecarts down below, which means I've got to go all the way back up to the top to get our items, which isn't good. Anyway, I'm going to continue building this. We're going to get the whole of this side done, and then we're going to come back and have a look at it, and I think it's going to look awesome. Well, check it out. That looks absolutely amazing. I'm really pleased with how that looked, actually. That was just a quick idea, and it worked out pretty well. And do you know what? This place looks even better at night time, so we're going to come back and have a look at it at night. At the moment, I'm doing the other side, as you can see over here, and I just wanted to kind of show you that technique again, because it makes things ever so simple. So if we look over there, we've got a whole bunch of prismarine blocks to put down like this, so you can just go, what is it, 2? Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2, and place down your diorite. And this is actually pretty straightforward. I don't know why I'm showing you this again, but we'll do a small section here. So that was 6, then we do another one, and the first 2 on this side. We're going to put down the rest of those, but we're going to hop up here and go across so we can place down our diorite like that, and then we've got to put our andesite at the top as well. This just makes us so much easier when you're building like repetitive in a row. It's really good. I think I just destroyed that, didn't I? There we go. Okay, so I think I've done... No, I haven't done anything wrong. I've got to place the sea lanterns next, like that. Then our diorite at the top and alongside. And then all of that. And just by doing it like that, you know, with this kind of technique, you can do it really quickly. So then 4 of those, and then 4 of those. And there you go. It's coming along pretty quick, isn't it? Right as I hit record, I think, wait a minute, it's daytime. I want to show you guys what this place looks like at night. It is really coming along. We have done both of these sides, and now I'm starting on the wall over here. And I decided to use dark prismarine. Now, if you don't know, the recipe for this is ink sacs with the shards, those ones right there, all the way around it. And for some reason I thought it was more expensive than that, and so I was avoiding using it, but I'm glad I looked it up because I think it looks really nice next to that texture. And once again we're doing some diagonal stripes like we've done over there. It's nice and simple to do, you know, just pick some blocks that mix well together, and then you've got a little bit of a pattern to fill up the walls. So we're probably going to use stripes a lot. And I've just noticed something. I've made a little bit of a mistake here, haven't I? These blocks right here are supposed to be andesite going all the way along there. And by the way, what I've done here is I put slabs at the back as well, because I realised that we've left this area open and slimes will be able to spawn on here. So if we put slabs on top, then it will only be these small ones that will spawn here. And another thing I want to report on is I have seen these minecarts just stop on the tracks, and that was when we didn't have any slabs above them. And my suspicion was that it could have been slimes or perhaps guardians falling on them that caused them to stay still. But if you look here, you can actually see through the gaps. And I've been going along doing regular checks, just having a look, and I never see any of them stopped. So that is a really good sign that this thing is going to work. Of course, I'll do that quite often, keep my eye on it, but I do think it's good for now. So yeah, we're going to fill this area back up here with slabs as well, which means it looks a little bit tidier back here as well, which is nice. Anyway, I'll do that in a bit. Let's put down the rest of that andesite quickly, just to see that it looks okay. You can see I've used these stone bricks. That's just coming around from the edge here where they are under the dispensers, so they'll go around the side there. And they actually kind of look like andesite when it's directly on top of it, doesn't it? Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I should have actually gone with half slabs. That would have been the other option. Let's place down a couple of these blocks like this, going all the way across. So that from back here looks alright. Doesn't really look like stone bricks, and it doesn't look like it's being carried around from this side. So if we change this... Oh, I was very worried I broke one of the tracks then. I did that earlier and messed something up, which was annoying. If we break the ones right at the end, that'll be really bad, because then we have to do all kinds of fancy stuff to replace it because of the way they like to connect. So I think that looks better, and although it's different from this on this side, I think it looks better like that. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Right, I'm going to do that going all the way to the other side. We're also going to make it so that it starts in the same place in that corner over there, and then they'll meet somewhere in the middle, which might look a bit funky because they're going to meet with two blocks side by side. How can I explain that? This is like a diagonal, so if a diagonal were to hit the ground and bounce back up, it would go up like that, right? But because this is even, it's going to go... Oh, it's going to go like that, and you're going to have two blocks in the middle. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, let's build this. Well, we are certainly getting there. This is taking some time to do, and at the moment I'm just thinking about all the other things we've got to do here as well. This is my last good pick, by the way, and when we dig out the wall on the other side, that is definitely going to break. So we're going to have to go to the Ender farm soon and do some repairs. As well as that, I've also got to craft a ton of repeaters to go across these dispensers, and it's been a really long time since I actually did that trick. You can just put repeater after repeater going across the top, and they actually power the dispensers below. But in theory, I don't think that should technically work, because the repeaters are just passing the signal from one to the other and not powering any block. But that was an old trick that used to work, so hopefully that one still works. And while I'm just finishing this off, I wanted to talk to you for a moment about videos over the coming weeks. I'm actually going to slow down the video production a little bit. Now, I'm not going to do anything drastic. You'll still get mod source and vanilla, but I'm just going to tone it down a bit, because I found myself doing a lot of videos and starting to feel a little uninspired lately, which is never good. So I think it's a good time to take a break and play some different games, and I've actually been doing that. I've been playing some Roller Coaster Tycoon. I've been really enjoying that. I used to play that when I was a kid, and I absolutely love it. And also I've done a little bit of streaming of another game called Super Time Force Ultra. Do you know what we could do down the back here? By the way, if it sounds a little strange, it is raining really heavy outside. It just started as I started recording. Another thing we could do to prevent slimes is put slabs on this block and also the ones at the back, and we don't need the torches up here, do we? Because there's no spawnable spaces. That's interesting, we can actually do that. And that rain is getting seriously heavy. I'm looking out my window right now and it is really something. Yeah, anyway, so I was talking about streaming. We're not going to do that right now. I'll make up my mind and come back to that. I was talking about streaming. I do on occasions do live streams, and I gotta say, every time I do a live stream it's terrible, something goes wrong. I mean, I'm not much of a streamer as it is, but I had loads of trouble just trying to stream this game. And so for those of you that turned out to watch, thank you for watching. I'm sorry that, you know, the stream kept interrupting and I had problems with the game. But that's just the way it is, you know. I'm not really good at the whole streaming thing, so if ever you do watch me on there, expect failure, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, what do I need to do right now? I need to grab some more of these dark prismarines. They need ink sacs, so I've got to take a trip over there, and I'll probably go to the end farm as well and get all of this pick repairing out of the way. And you can probably hear that. I think I'm going to stop recording and look out my window some more, because it is seriously starting to get stormy out there. Wow. Oh, lightning. Okay, I'm going to open my window. And that was perfect timing. Wow. So, most of you have played Minecraft before, and you've probably played on a server as well. Have you ever had that problem where you're coming through nether portals, and it's like you're wrestling with them? You walk away from it, and then it teleports you back, and it happens over and over again. Well, I've been wrestling with that for the last half hour. I finally made it to the end farm, and guess what? These things are really cheap now, of course. That costs 5 levels. This costs 4. That one costs... oh wait, that's... But you get my point. I've probably got enough XP on me to have repaired this all back at the farm. That one costs 7. It's because I combined that one with books, I think. If you use books on these, it adds extra levels. Oh, it's so so annoying. It's taking forever to get this done. But hey, look, I got loads of ink sacs, so we're going to be able to go back there and just crack on and get some more things done. Anyway, I guess I'll be back with you in a moment. It's turning to night. That's good, because I haven't shown you this at night time yet. Or I probably have. I think I was actually building earlier when it was night time, which is not the best time to be recording, but this place looks really great at night. Once the shadows and stuff kick in from the lights from the sea lanterns, it looks really good. But anyway, we are pretty much getting there, getting done. I'm going to fill up all of the dispensers now. They've got repeaters on top of them, so I've crafted tons of buckets here. What we want to do is actually just hold down right click with the stacks like that. And that normally happens a little bit quicker. Actually, maybe it doesn't, because we're regenerating the water. That would be why it's a little bit slow. And how much space do I have in my inventory? There we go, a few more buckets. Anyway, I'm actually going to end this episode a little earlier than I had planned. That one's going to stay over there for a minute. Because I had a workout earlier today, and for those of you that work out will probably know sometimes if you overdo it... Where did that repeater go? Doesn't matter. You can feel really rough sometimes after working out too much, and today I just felt really awful, and I had to lay down for like an hour or so, so I decided that actually we should just wrap things up here. I need a little bit of a rest. But anyway, the last thing we're going to do before we end things off is just run all of these dispensers. So I'm going to go down to the ends and put some buttons at either end once I finish putting in all of these buckets. And then we're going to test and see what happens, because I got a feeling that there could be a lot of lag. All of these dispensers are going to be updated one by one, and then they're going to be, you know, flowing out water all over these surfaces. It's going to cause the server to do a lot of updates, and also we got that lag machine up there, so I'm expecting a lot of lag, let's say that. Anyway, it's going to take me a while. I'm going to do all of these dispensers. By the way, my pick hasn't run out. After doing all of that, it turns out we didn't need to go to the end anyway, so I could have saved myself some time. Yeah. Anyway, right, let's do these buckets and then we'll do a test. Well, this is odd. The repeater at the other end has gone missing as well. That is a little bit strange. I mean, one repeater going missing, that's fine, but both of them in the same position at either end, that is a problem. And I had a little bit of a panic a moment ago. I thought of a problem that I hadn't thought about, and then after a while I realised that it actually wasn't going to be a problem. But the thing with dispensers in a row is that they can create source blocks between the two. So let's say we've got water here, and we remove the one, you know, we've got water there as well, we remove that, then these two are going to generate one in the middle. But because these activate very quickly from one side all the way over to the other, I think we are going to be fine. And what we're going to do here is build ourselves a little window to have a look through. So the other side of that block is bump bump, there we go. And we've got the best view in the house for this, although the water's going to flow in here, isn't it? So let's put down a slab to stop that happening, and just open this up a tad more, actually. Would be a good idea. I'll fix all of this in a moment, don't you worry. And now I'm out of blocks. Of course I am. There we go, that'll do. Right, let's place down this button. We've already done that. Let's press it. Oh, there we go. That's not that laggy, actually, but then again, I'm not moving around. And there you go. Let's walk down and have a look from down here. I reckon it's going to look good. Yeah, look at that. It comes all the way over to the edge perfectly. And the minecarts are still working, and now the Guardians are coming down. Those guys at the top died. Did they land possibly on top of the repeaters somehow? Well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to keep my eye on that. And that guy over there died. What's going on? What is going on? I tested this. It's supposed to work. Do you know what? Even if it doesn't, I think having a less efficient XP farm is not something I'm going to stress out about after all the work that I've done on this. I will, of course, investigate that in between episodes. I'm also going to be doing some caving and finishing up the other side. I didn't put all of the buckets in. I got a little bit lazy. Well, that's interesting. I think that's been bud powered by... yeah, by that block there, so that one's going to stay powered. And is the water just stuck over there, or is it not updating? I think also, the repeaters actually need to be either side of the dispenser that it activates. So we need a repeater here, and then at the other end we need another block with a repeater. That makes a lot of sense. And I will of course fix that in between episodes, as well as doing some caving, fixing the other side. The reason I didn't do the other side is because I realised we've got to wire them both up together to activate them at the same time. So that's another little job. I've got lots of things to do in between episodes. We still have a ton of stuff to do here. We've got the other walls. I was hoping to get at least one of these other ones done, but it's the wall on the right hand side, this one over here, that I want to put the name of the farm in there. So if you have a suggestion for the name of this farm, post it in the comment box, and I'm pretty sure most names will be able to fit on there, because we can even do either do really big text, you know, and have like a 5-letter word for the farm. A 5-letter word, yeah, that's correct. Or we could have something long, you know, maybe it's got like 12 letters or a couple of words. We can definitely fit it on that big wall, is what I'm saying. But that is it for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed making this. I think it looks ever so good. But that's it for this one. So if you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like. It will always be appreciated. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.